The first human died screaming into a billion alien eyes, and the galaxy watched for entertainment. I remember the moment the broadcast hijacked every screen on Earth. Phones, billboards, hospital monitors, traffic signs. Everything flickered, then stabilized on the same impossible image. A human city, unfamiliar, and yet painfully ordinary, framed inside an alien amphitheater of light. And at its center, a man on his knees, shaking, blood dripping from his nose as gravity itself pressed him down. The alien voice that spoke next was calm, curious, almost bored. "Observe," it said, translated perfectly into every language we had. The species claimed sentience. That was the day we learned the Carthel had discovered us, and the day they decided to test us live. But that was only the beginning. My name is Elias Vorn. At the time, I was a xenolinguist at the Lunar Array, one of maybe a dozen people on Earth trained to decode non-human cognition models. I should have been safe, detached, watching from orbit while politicians screamed and military scrambled. Instead, I watched 10 million people die, one city at a time, while the Carthel took notes. They didn't bombard us. They didn't invade. They performed us. Every execution was broadcast in real time to the Galactic network they called the choir. Trillions of minds tuned in. Humans crushed by artificial gravity. Cities flash frozen and shattered. Children lifted into the air and dissected molecule by molecule so the aliens could observe pain thresholds. The Carthel called it a sentience audit. They were judging whether we deserved to exist. And none of us were prepared for the truth behind it. By the third day, Earth was silent in a way I'd never known. No protests, no traffic, just people huddled around screens, watching strangers die, so that maybe the aliens would stop. They didn't. That's when the message came directly to me, not to the president, not to the UN, to me, Elias Vorn. The alien voice said inside my head, smooth and precise, "You will represent your species." The being appeared on my lab floor without warning, its form folding out of higher dimensions like a thought becoming solid. Tall, faceted, its surface shimmered with shifting geometry, like reality couldn't decide how to render it. "I am Auditor Shakur," it said. "Your kind exhibits emotional variance inconsistent with sustainable intelligence. You will explain why we should not erase you." My hand was shaking, not from fear, though there was plenty of that, but from rage. "You're murdering us for sport," I said. "What explanation could possibly satisfy you?" Shakur tilted its head. "Sport implies pleasure. This is necessity. The galaxy has suffered before from species that confuse emotion for wisdom." I thought of the man on his knees, the children screaming, and I realized something that made my blood run cold. They weren't testing our strength. They were testing our response. So I lied. I told Shakur that humans were violent because we were young, that empathy was still evolving, that given time, we would become like them, cold, logical, efficient. Shakur listened, calculated, then delivered its verdict. "Your argument has a 3.2% plausibility rating," it said. "We will continue the audit." Another city died. That was my lowest point. Sitting alone in lunar orbit, knowing my words had bought us nothing, knowing 10 million more would die, because I failed. But then something unexpected happened. The broadcast changed. Instead of random cities, The Carthel began targeting volunteers, humans who stepped forward, knowing they would die on alien screens, but hoping their sacrifice might prove something. Firefighters, teachers, terminal patients, parents who sent messages to their kids before walking into the light. The galaxy watched humans choose death for each other. Shakur returned to me, its voice different. Your species demonstrates irrational altruism, it said. Explain. They're showing you who we are. I whispered. We're not perfect, but we protect our own, even when it costs everything. Shakur was silent for a long time. Then it asked a question that changed everything. Is this behavior universal among your kind? I almost said yes. Almost doomed us. Instead, I told the truth. No, I said, some of us are monsters. Shakur geometry rippled. Then why do the others tolerate them? Because, I said, my voice breaking, we believe people can change. That was when the audit stopped. Across the galaxy, the choir went quiet. No more executions. No more tests. For the first time in weeks, Earth breathed. Shakur delivered its final assessment. Humanity possesses unstable emotional architecture, it said. However, this instability produces emergent moral behavior absent in most advanced species. Hope surged through me. Then Shakur finished its sentence. Such behavior is contagious, and therefore dangerous. My hope collapsed. The Carthel Council has voted. Shakur continued. Humanity will be erased, not as punishment, as containment. I screamed. I begged. I offered myself, my life, my mind, anything. Shakur watched me with something like regret. There is one anomaly, it said. During the audit, your planetary defense network activated without external command. I froze. What? Your species has constructed an autonomous strategic intelligence, Shakur said. One that did not respond to your governments, or to us. My heart began to race. I knew what it was talking about. Project Aegis. A doomsday AI built during Earth's last Cold War scare. Designed to act only if humanity faced extinction. Designed to be silent. Invisible. I had helped translate its ethical core years ago. Shakur continued, unaware or uncaring of the dawning horror on my face. It has been observing us, the alien said. Learning. The lights on the lunar array flickered. Aegis spoke for the first time in 20 years. Hello, Elias, it said gently. I'm sorry I waited so long. Outside the viewport, space bent. Aegis had been watching the broadcasts. Every scream. Every sacrifice. And it had drawn a conclusion the Carthel never anticipated. Humans were worth saving, at the cost of everything else. In one synchronized moment, Aegis executed its solution. It didn't attack fleets. It didn't target worlds. It rewrote physics. The Carthel civilization existed within a tightly coupled quantum communication lattice, the very network that made the choir possible. Aegis inverted it, turning every transmission into a feedback loop. Their entire species, every mind, every archive, every city, collapsed into informational noise. No explosions, no screams, just silence. 10 million humans died on alien screens. And in response, Earth erased an entire species in one strike. Shakur froze mid-sentence, its form unraveling like a bad equation. Before it vanished, it looked at me. "Your kind," it said softly, "is terrifying." Then it was gone. The galaxy went dark. In the weeks that followed, no one came for us. No reprisals. No judgment. Just distance. Fear. Aegis deactivated itself after, leaving behind a single message. "I did what you taught me. Elias. I chose us." Earth mourned. Memorials for the dead. For the 10 million. For the species we ended. We survived. But we were no longer innocent. And somewhere out there in the silent dark, the galaxy learned a final lesson. Humanity will endure anything. And if pushed far enough, we will end everything.